This video will outline the key stages to be followed in managing redundancies and the impact of redundancy on the whole organisation, and it will help you to answer Assessment Criteria 3.3 on the Assignment 3 MER. A genuine redundancy only arises when either there has been or is going to be a cessation of business at the employee's location, or a reduction or cessation of work. When managing redundancies, the key stages to go through are planning, identifying a selection pool, seeking volunteers, consulting with employees, the selection process, appeals and dismissals, suitable alternative employment, redundancy payments, and then counselling and support. If you download a free QR code converter onto your phone and scan this, it will take you directly to the CIPD fact sheet on managing redundancies, and you will find more detail for each of these stages. When you are planning redundancies, you may investigate alternatives to try to limit the number of people impacted. This might include natural wastage, so with natural labour turnover, you don't replace those vacancies unless absolutely business crucial. Recruitment freezes, you may stop or reduce overtime, you might consider early retirement, you may retrain or redeploy employees, you may consider or introduce sabbaticals and secondments, and you may introduce short-time working. Once the planning is done and the need and the numbers have been identified, the next stage is to design and present a voluntary redundancy package, and this is usually enhanced when compared to the compulsory redundancy package, which is offered at a later stage. Staff may be willing to take voluntary redundancy, and if this is the case, this would avoid all the negative connotations of compulsory redundancy. Later on in the process, there will be a need to consult with employees, and the employer is legally obliged to give the following information and is required to individually consult. The information they need to provide includes the reason for the redundancy dismissals, the number of redundancies, the total number of employees affected, the proposed methods of selection, the procedure to be followed in dealing with the redundancies, and the method of calculating redundancy payments. The impact of the redundancy process is likely to be felt throughout the whole of the organisation, and this includes those individuals being made redundant, as well as those people who are continuously employed with the organisation and likely to stay once the redundancy process is completed. It is at this point that you need to turn your attention to survivor care, and some of the steps you could take during this stage are that you could fully explain the situation and explain policies and procedures applied to those being made redundant. You could demonstrate the necessity for change, and you could describe future employment prospects and details of changes in working arrangements. You should handle redundancies responsibly, fairly and effectively, as these processes are likely to be witnessed by those surviving the process. You need to provide a forward-looking and positive attitude for the future and show the value of their role in that future. You should conduct, where necessary, individual discussions with remaining key workers to reassure them, and ensure that managers develop the necessary personal skills and attitude to operate effectively during change. This brings us to the end of the video series for the Assignment 3 MER. If you require more detail, please refer to the links or the QR codes included in the slides, or go to the CIPD website to view their fact sheets. Other information is available on ACAS and the gov.uk website.